Hey guys, and welcome back to Boss Life. I'm your host, Ebony. So tonight we're going to do things a little bit different and just by choice because I missed my podcast from last week. So I didn't want to miss this week, and I am so excited, as always, to be talking to you guys again, to be once again in my community with my people. Like I say all the time, it's always fun to have company over, but it's even better with just family in the house. So, welcome back to Boss Life. So, tonight we're talking about leveling up your confidence in 2022. I want you guys to know and to be clear, I want to be precise about my brand and what I stand for and what I'm building in this community. This community is for my sisters, mothers, aunties, nieces, best friends, girlfriends, whatever we want to call each other, boss wives, boss sisters. This community is to help you guys build your confidence. Building your confidence in business, building your confidence in your family, building your confidence in relationships, building your confidence in you, because without confidence in yourself, there is a lot of things that we're going to overstep and miss out on because we're choosing not to be confident and we're choosing not to allow our voices to be heard. We're choosing not to allow our presence to be known. And for women, that is a no no. So, for my first tip tonight, walk the talk. So, my suggestion is that you create a mission statement, a life slogan, or a creed, something that you stand for, something that you can live by. Create that and live by it. Let people know what you stand for, who you are, and that your values matter to you. Don't allow the world to change who you are, your perspective on things, or on yourself because it's easy for them to put their identity on other people, right? So, in walking the talk, you have to identify the gap that is between what you claim to be and what you actually are putting out on the table for people to know what you actually are. So to break that down a little bit, sometimes we can miss the mark when we're trying to build confidence in ourselves, and we can allow things to be as though they're not, and it seems to be one way and people are looking at it to be one way and it's actually not. So when I say identify the gaps between what you claim to be and what you're actually living or actually putting out on the table, I mean, know exactly who you are. And when you're building your confidence in yourself, it is hard. It's hard to know exactly who you are and what you want to do. And that's totally fine because we all go through that moment and it's always a phase because like any woman, we know our worth, we know our value, we know how powerful we are. So, in those moments where we have very low confidence or very low self-esteem, which are two different things by the way, in those moments, identify what you're actually putting out. Like, are you putting out there that you're overconfident, you're arrogant, you're, self-centered? Are you overcompensating for what you don't have? I know sometimes we can feel like we're living a imposter life, and sometimes we can portray a imposter in our own lives. So the funny thing about the world is the world picks up on game, right? So when you're portraying to be something you're actually not, it's very noticeable, especially to those OG players. Okay. So in this first step in walking the talk, make sure you realize that whoever you're around, first of all, they know a phony. Everybody knows phonies. It's easy to pick them out. So don't be a phony. But in building confidence, you definitely have to know who you want to be and who you want to aspire to be. That, you know what I'm saying? Like that's totally different. So I'm not saying downplay yourself. I'm not saying don't fake it till you make it. A lot of people like to live by that. And that, I don't feel one way about it either way. But in order to fake it until you make it, at some point you have to believe what you're faking. And the thing about that is when you are being a phony or you're being an imposter in your own life, people can actually see that you don't even believe who you are. So walk the talk. Whatever you are portraying, whatever you're putting out there, make sure you actually believe it and make sure it's coming across as that way too. My next step is upgrade your wardrobe. So, what I mean by this is no, you do not have to go out and buy all this, expensive clothes, name brand stuff, name brand shoes, whatever. I have a big family, so I can't do that anyway. Of course, we do what we want to do. We can afford to do whatever we want to do, but I don't do that simply because being in the model industry, I have learned that thrifty clothing is the best way to go because fashions, they fade. All fads come in and out. Like nothing is ever guaranteed that it's going to be around forever. The only thing that's guaranteed to be around is the classic shirt, the classic pant, the classic pump. That's it. Everything else is definitely a fad. So when you are shopping and you're trying to invest in yourself, by the way, this is the best investment you'll ever make. And especially in your confidence, this is the best investment you ever make. I want to make sure that that is very clear. When you invest in you, nobody can tell you anything because you know your value and you know your worth. That is the biggest part of confidence. So anyway, back to what I was saying. When you are shopping and you're trying to find this wardrobe for yourself, you need a summer wardrobe, you need a winter wardrobe, a spring collection, whatever. Don't go out and buy all this stuff and it fades out, and then you're like trying to keep up with the Joneses, because that's definitely not what you want to do. And when you're trying to build your confidence anyway, keeping up with the Joneses is the very, very worst thing you could ever do anyway. Because, like I said, some people live a imposter lifestyle. They are imposters in their own lives. And sometimes you can't really tell people that, and you have to let them be who they are. So anyway, not going to get off on that tangent, but don't try to keep up with other people. So when you're out and you're trying to invest in yourself, and you can buy, one thing here, one thing there, make a, start a collection or whatever. But I will say one thing I do believe in is buying quality over quantity. Definitely. You don't want to, and I'm not saying that I do shop at thrift stores. I'm not saying that I don't. I have shopped at thrift stores before, because you can find some great things at thrift stores. But I also shop, in some pretty nice places. But I'm just saying, you don't have to go out and buy red bottoms every time you buy a pair of shoes. Like, that is not a must have. Like, you can get some great pumps, some great stilettos, $50, $60, $80. But so definitely don't live above your means, but don't live below your means either, because you don't want people to look at you like you're poor and you're thinking you're doing the best that you can do and you're not. So yes, that is my second tip. Invest in yourself, because that is the best investment you'll ever make. And when you invest in yourself, other people will do the same thing as well. In order for people to take you serious, you have to take yourself serious first. Don't push too hard. Don't oversell yourself, but always get yourself to the point of where you want to be. I did an interview a few months ago, and the thing that stood out to me when I was interviewing her was, the thing that she said to me was, she lives like she's already made it, like in her head, not financially, but she lives like, that she's already got this $1 billion company and she's rocking it, because once you get to a certain level, you make sure that you keep yourself at a certain level. You make sure that you maintain those thoughts, you maintain that, that wardrobe, you maintain those conversations, those connections. And so in investing yourself, make sure that you don't overpitch yourself, but you pitch yourself to the fact of where you're trying to attain, right? Because that also builds confidence. When you are selling yourself to whatever you're doing in relationships, your business, on your job, if you work a 9 to 5, in your household, in your church, wherever you are, when someone needs something from you, don't downplay yourself, don't sell yourself short, don't sabotage yourself. Because the one thing that people don't invest in are people who don't like themselves. I was going to say something totally different, but I'm not going to be offensive. But people can definitely tell if you like yourself or not. And so, and like I said, it can go both ways. Like, if you overpitch yourself, people can definitely tell you're doing way too much. Calm down, bring it down. You at a 10, I need you at a 2. Or if you underpitch yourself, people are like, they kind of help boast you a little bit and boost you a little bit, because people love to see an underdog. But the thing about that is, I'm not going to, pump and prime you. This is your life. Nobody can live your life but you. So definitely don't undersell yourself. Don't sell yourself short. Don't let somebody talk down to you because you feel like you're not, at their level, at their standards. Because like I said once before, when people would love to put their identity on you, don't accept that. Give it back to them. Reject it. Hit pause, hit stop, rewind, eject. Right? Anyway, moving on. The last thing that I would say on this tip is, my suggestion would be to consider yourself your best product. If you have a number one product in the store, that is going to be the one thing that you boost and you try to get out of that door, right? You're going to tell everybody about it. You're going to be excited about it. You're going to share it with everybody. You're going to post it. You're going to take pictures of it. It's going to be your baby. So, my suggestion to you is for you to be your number one product. When you are investing in yourself, like I said, everybody else will take you just as serious as you take yourself. You have to be genuine. So, love your number one product, take care of it, baby it, pacify it, whatever you have to do, but make sure it is the best thing selling in your store. My third tip for tonight is kick mediocrity in the teeth. Let me say it again, mediocrity. So I hope I'm saying it right. I know my southern accent is getting in the way, but kick it in the teeth. You do not have to be below somebody else's standards to be what they want you to be. And this podcast is not about anybody else, it's about you. So when you are kicking mediocrity in the teeth, don't settle. Don't settle for what you don't want. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day, and she is a medical assistant just like I am, and we are short staffed like everybody else is in the world. And so I was telling her, I was like, hey, we have an MA position open, we have a front desk position open. Now, knowing the whole time she does not want to go back into the medical field, even though this is my passion, is what I love to do. She is, kind of tired of it. She's burnt out. So anyways, I messaged her in anyway, and I asked her, hey, do you want, to apply for this job, blah, blah. And so she was like, I really don't want to. She was like, I want the medical field to be the last thing, that if I have to go back to, which she doesn't really have to work, but she was looking for something part-time or whatever. And, the thing she said to me was, she was like, I really don't want to, I would really rather do something different. And I was like, you know what? Why am I even asking her that? And that's exactly what I told her. I was like, you're absolutely right. I have never taken a job that I've never wanted. I've never even applied for a job that I've never wanted. And so I told her that. I was like, I don't even, I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't even mean to do that. I got caught up in the moment at work. But I just told her, I was like, I definitely believe in you never settling. Like, don't ever settle for something you don't want. You don't have to take it. And that goes for relationships, men, girlfriends, best friends, jobs, whatever you want to apply that to. Food, like I tell my husband, don't come here with no off-brand food. Like I'm not eating that. That could be, a little artificial, but whatever. I'm just saying, like, that is what I do. But seriously, guys, like, when you are considering yourself to be of a certain esteem, you do not have to settle for what somebody else wants you to be or to look like or to live like. So, kicking mediocrity in the teeth. Live the life you want to live like you already have achieved it. So rebranding yourself is definitely a great way to kick mediocrity in the teeth, because this allows you to revamp who you are, who you want to be, where you're trying to go, what you're trying to achieve, and to set goals that you have never set before. Remember, you are your greatest asset, and that is what you need to sell. Number 4, celebrate other people's success. This is a big one, because when we don't have what we feel like we should have, we look at others sometimes either in envy, or we look down on them, or we use this, how did they get that? And why I ain't got this? And, I wish you guys could have really saw that, because I really played that out there. But, that is definitely one of the biggest things. Like, when we feel like we're not where we're supposed to be, it's hard for us to celebrate others. And in building confidence in you, you have to build other people, because you always want people to be celebrated, because you want to be celebrated, right? And only people who have low self-esteem or no confidence in who they are or what they're doing in their life, they're the only people who put other people down. They're not, very open-minded. They're very closed-minded. They think that they know everything. They look down on others for taking the risk that they should have taken. And that's not our fault, right? So don't be that person. Be the person who celebrates other people, because when you celebrate somebody else, somebody's already celebrating you. You just didn't know it. Like, we always have cheerleaders in the corner. And when you realize that you're the greatest thing going out there, girl, like, your cheerleaders are going to be off the chain. They're going to come out of that corner and they're going to be your biggest fans. They're going to be bigger fans for you than you are for yourself. So when you cheer other people on and you celebrate other people and you call them up. Just call them and say, hey, I am so proud of what you did. Somebody sent me a post on Facebook the other day. I think maybe before Christmas, actually, not the other day. But actually, no, they text me, and I thought I had their number saved in my phone, and I didn't. But because we normally talk like through social media. So, but their number was in my phone. I just didn't have it saved. But anyway, they sent me a text and they were like, "Oh my God, I'm just so proud of what you're doing. I'm so elated about everything that you got going on and just what God has done for you in your life and how I've watched you bloom and this and another." And I was kind of like, my first text was, "Oh, thank you so much. Who is this?" Thank you, but please let me know who you are. And so I felt bad because I was like, girl, why do I not have your number saved in my phone? But anyway, but to have somebody out the blue text me that, and I don't even know what they were looking at. Um I have Canva. So if you guys are on my social media accounts, then I have posts that just post randomly. Well, they're technically not randomly. Like I schedule posts, but this particular day, I'm pretty sure I had something scheduled to post at a certain time, and she must have seen it, and so she shot me a text, and I was kind of like, "Well, what are you looking at?" But she let me know it wasn't just that day. She had been watching, my social media accounts and stuff that I've been posting, and I was like, I feel like I'm not, you know, and I'm just gonna be real with you guys, even though I'm talking on confidence, like at that moment, that was one of my moments, and I was just kind of like, girl, I ain't posting nothing significant anyway. And so she was like, yeah, you do, she was like, you never know who you're helping. The smallest things help the majority of people, and that's another way that we can downplay ourselves. Let me add that in there too, and we feel like what we say isn't significant enough, or we feel like the things that we do don't make a big impact. So of course nobody knows or sees us, and we're the greatest hidden secret or whatever. But I don't feel like I'm the greatest hidden secret, but I feel like I'm hidden sometimes. I feel like people don't see me. And so when she told me that, I was just kind of blown away because I was just like, wow, well, thank you. Like, I really appreciate it. And I needed that. And like I was trying to get back to my point, call people up, shoot them a text, shoot them a DM or whatever, but say, hey, girl, you are rocking this. I appreciate everything you're doing. Because when other women set a standard, they're not just setting it for themselves, they're setting it for your daughters, for your nieces, for the girls that we're raising up behind us. Just like the women before us came and they paved the way. The women around you that are being successful and they're making moves and they're breaking ground, they're breaking ground for you as well. So when you look at others, don't look at them in envy. Don't look at them and wish you had what they had. Don't look at them and say, how did they get that and I got this? There is no comparison, because when you compare yourself to other people, you're definitely downplaying yourself, because you don't even know how those people get what they get. You don't know what they had to do to obtain it. You don't know what they got to do to keep it. Let me tell you something. I don't want anybody else's blessings, because the stuff that I get, it's hard enough to keep it up. Like, I don't want nobody else's. Okay. So however they get what they got, let them get it, let them keep it, let them pay for it and maintain it. You just be glad you don't have to keep it and maintain it. Okay. Because what God has for you is for you, regardless of what you go through and what you're doing in life. So when you celebrate others, it lets them know, because I'm pretty sure that woman has had a moment where they feel like they're living an imposter life as well, or they feel like they're not worthy of what they're doing, or they feel like things just aren't going right, period. So definitely reach out to her. Let her know you appreciate what she's doing. Thank you for breaking ground for me, because when I come behind you, I got some big shoes to fill as well. So, number 5, stay ahead of the curve. So, the way I came up with that tip is I was just thinking about how much weight I've lost, right? I was thinking about my journey. My baby girl is 13. She's getting ready to be 14. No, 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 no. She's 12. She's getting ready to be 13. And so I was thinking about my weight loss journey, 12, almost 13 years, and I have been overweight. I have been dealing with curves I've never had. And so my point is, in building your confidence, life is going to throw us a lot of curveballs, right? Well, here's the kicker. When you are looking at everything that you're going through, right? Everything that you've been through, everything that you're trying to achieve, everything that's in front of you and beside you, because we always talk about things that are in front of us and behind us. We never deal with the things that we're dealing with right now. We always look to the future. We never deal with the day-to-day stuff. So even the things that are beside you, when you don't allow yourself to be brought down by the day-to-day stuff, to focus on what you're not accomplishing, you can stay ahead of the curve. When I realized that it wasn't just for me that I was trying to lose weight for, it was for my family. And I get it, we always talk about, oh no, you need to do it for you because this is this and that. Okay, I get it. Yes, that was definitely me, and I say that all the time. Don't do things for other people. You gotta do it for yourself too. Like I just said, you have to be your biggest fan. But for me, this particular moment that I was having with my weight, I was like, you know what? When the pandemic hit, let me give that example. When the pandemic hit, we bought all kind of games. We are definitely a game family. So I started playing football on Sundays with my best friend and her husband and her family. And so, guys, like to see me out there playing football was crazy. But I was good though. But anyway, so my best friend and her husband, they have 4 kids as well, and we have 4 kids. So we played Sunday football a lot during the pandemic. Then, we also bought my girls, they played volleyball. So we bought a volleyball net, to sit up outside at home. Then we had badminton, we were playing kickball, we were playing baseball, all this stuff. Well, I lost 64 pounds that summer. And I was also working out. Don't get me wrong, I was working out as well, but I was not changing the way I ate. I just took some things out of my diet because I didn't want to overwhelm myself. But I lost so much weight, and I lost it just by having fun and playing with my kids and enjoying life. And so for me, staying ahead of the curve for me meant staying ahead of the game in life. I didn't want to feel bad because of something I was doing to myself. I didn't want to feel like I was doing myself a disservice by indulging myself. And here's the thing, I looked at food as a comfort. When you become more mentally stable, you no longer look to food for comfort. You look to the one who said, I will be your comforter. And I'm not trying to preach. I'm just saying, like, that was my vice. And so now I look at food like, no, I need you to sustain. I don't need you to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can live off of vegetables, I can live off of water, I can live a healthy life and still enjoy this life. I was enjoying food when I was sad, when I was upset, when I was happy. It was crazy. Like, it was just my comfort. It was my best friend. I knew it was dependable. I knew it was going to be there. And I think when we get complacent in life, in any aspect of life, we get complacent in friendships, we get complacent in relationships, in our families, at work. I think when we get complacent, it's hard for us to get out of a routine. And so, therefore, I was behind the 8 ball. Like, I just, that was just one part of my life that I just felt like I didn't have to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I had to deal with it. It was just a part of who I am, because if God wanted me to be small again, He would have made my body, blah, blah. And that's not true. God gives us a free will to do whatever we want to do. He does not control us. So, in saying that, staying ahead of the curve means, to me, now you guys can take this tip and flip it, and by all means flip it and tell me how you flipped it and what this tip means to you. Please leave me a comment, on YouTube or my podcast website, wherever. But definitely hit me up and let me know how you flip this. But for me, staying ahead of the curve means to not allow your guard to get so low where you get stuck. Don't get complacent. Don't allow yourself to remain where you are because you feel like you have to, and you have to deal with it because you don't. Know your power, know your strength, and definitely work on your weaknesses. Like, perfect your weaknesses. That should have been one of my tips. When you perfect your weakness, you become even stronger. We know our strengths, right? We shy away from our weaknesses because we don't want to cater to them. Well, cater to your weakness, develop it, perfect it, because then you'll figure out there is something really deep and meaningful behind your weakness. You are only as strong as your greatest weakness. Tip number 6, educate yourself. I love education now. Growing up as a kid, I didn't. But now, knowing what education means, how hard we had to fight to get it, how much I deserve it, I love it. I tell my kids that all the time. Like, you deserve the highest level of education. We had to fight so hard as women, period, to get anything and everything we wanted. And now we're fighting ourselves. Don't fight yourself. Be your greatest adversary. When it comes to education, you need to train yourself on every part of your life. When it comes to living healthier, you need to get a book, get some literacy, like figure out something. Don't just lean on your own understanding. Definitely get wisdom about everything that you're doing in your life. This will definitely boost your confidence because when you figure out how smart you are, and you obtain all this information, just like this podcast. This podcast is giving you information, it's giving you tips. You're educating yourself at this very moment. That goes across the board. We educate ourselves on makeup. We educate ourselves on hair. We know what best hair to get. We know, what curls not to get. We know what cut to get. We know what patterns to look for. We know what color to get. We educate ourselves on, and I don't mean this literally, but we educate ourselves on things that don't matter till we forget to educate ourselves on things that do matter. Don't waste your time in life allowing things that don't matter to take control of you. Anyway, let's get back on task. So, educate yourself. Educate yourself on confidence. Educate yourself on your weakness. Educate yourself on relationships. Whatever you're struggling with in life, or you may not even be struggling with it. You may just want more information about it. You may not even be really secure in something that you know or something that you do. Research it. Educate yourself on it. I asked somebody about a year ago about when they were raising their kids, and I was like, have you ever bought a parenting book? And this girl looked at me like I was crazy, like I was speaking in tongues. And I was like, dude, I understand you in your 20s, but when you don't have a mother to help you raise your children in 2021, this was 2021, it's 2022 now. But if you don't have a mother, you don't have a grandmother, you got these little street friends, these little street rats, don't get me wrong, some of them are, but you got these little street rats showing you how they raising their kids, and they terrors, and then you gonna look at like, no, get some literacy, like figure out what you want to do, how you want to do it, things that you don't understand. Definitely educate yourself on it. I think as a um I was gonna say as a race, but I think as women, we educate ourselves a lot of times on the wrong things, meaningless things, things that, are great, at some point. Yes, I tell my girls, hey, go practice doing your makeup, go practice doing your hair. You know, at their age, that's what they need to be educating themselves on, other than their schoolwork. But as grown women, educate yourself on the way you should handle yourself in business. Educate yourself on the way you should carry yourself at work, or how you want to go about going back to school, or, a profession that you always wanted to do. Do that. Take the risk. Educate yourself on things that matter the most. Like I said, you are your greatest asset. And when you become the strongest you, nobody can put a force to you to make you stop. Educate yourself on your body, on your eating habits. You don't have to change everything that you eat and take it out of your diet, but some things that we eat are very detrimental and we don't realize how detrimental. Like, I don't eat Pop Tarts anymore because I know what they're made out of. We don't eat noodles anymore because I know what they're made out of. Like, once you educate yourself on certain things, your body's going to be a whole lot healthier and happier with you. I have lost so much weight, my back doesn't even hurt. Like, I didn't even realize, and at some point I knew it was my weight. I didn't realize how much weight though, because when I lost 64 pounds during COVID, when the COVID first hit, I thought I felt great. I done lost over that much now, and I'm like, no, this is what great feels like. But I had to educate myself on, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. I had to get there. I had to get there mentally, and then I had to get my family there as well. But that is my last tip for you guys. Educate yourself on things that you aren't certain about, or things that you are certain about and you want more information on. As women, we can definitely be smarter. We can be the smartest person in the room and people still don't notice us. But when you know who you are, they don't have a choice but to notice who you are. They don't have a choice but to acknowledge your presence in the room. They don't have a choice but to let you have a seat at the table and not at the back of the table. Oh, we up there at the front. So when you perfect you, nobody can take it away from you. So building confidence is definitely a very, very great benefit to have. And it brings so much more to your life. It brings high performance, healthy relationships. It brings openness to try new things, resilience. It helps you to face your fears. It gives you the strength that you need to get through your day to day. And it makes you a better mother, a better wife, a better friend, a better sister. Because when you know who you are more than happy to help others get to where they need to be as well. So let's do a quick recap. So, my 6 tips tonight for leveling up your confidence in 2022 is walk the talk, invest in yourself, kick mediocrity in the teeth, celebrate other people's success, stay ahead of the curve, and educate yourself. So, my side tips were to perfect your weakness, take risk, um, and to love who you are, invest in you, make sure that you know that you're your greatest asset, be your biggest fan, and to pretty much have a healthier life. That is my overall tip for tonight. Those are my tips for tonight. The 6 tips plus my little side notes. But you guys, this has definitely been awesome for me. I hope you guys got something out of it. Yes, tonight we don't have an intro, an outro. I don't have my commercial going. I am still doing this on my own, so I had some little hiccups with my recording stuff. So I'm not using it tonight, but I did not want this night to go by again like I did last week because I was frazzled with my equipment and I was just like over it. And I had a lot going on anyways, but I love you guys and I love you to the point where I don't want to miss another week or another time talking to you guys and giving you guys great tips and information on building you and building your confidence and loving who you are so that you can break the ground for me and for my girls as well to come behind you. You are amazing women and you have so much to offer. So my poem for tonight, or maybe not a poem, but my quote for tonight is by Oprah Winfrey. And it's about self esteem. And it says, self esteem means knowing you are the dream. So when you know you're the dream and you're trying to obtain your dream, girl, go for the stars. Don't settle for the moon. Okay. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in again to BossWife.live. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing and commenting. And definitely let me know what my tip number 5 means to you. Stay ahead of the curve. Tell me what that means to you. Tell me how you're going to apply that in your life. Let me know, how you think I could have rephrased that, or if you thought the way that I phrased it was great. But anyways, that was my goal nugget for tonight is stay ahead of the curve and apply that into leveling up your confidence. I love you guys. I will see you next Tuesday. One more thing, sorry. Last thing is don't forget to subscribe. If you got everything out of this that you needed, please share, like, and subscribe with a friend as well. Let them know to hit that bell on YouTube so that they can get every notification every time I post. But thank you guys again. Okay, I'm gone for real this time. I love you guys. I will talk to you next Tuesday. Bye bye.